Hey, I am here to discuss about one scalability problem. Most of the full stack developers see a scalability problem as a backend problem, but I don't think that's the point. Actually, when the engineering skills develop, it does not develop from the flashy new features we will develop for an application or a product, but it develops from a smaller problem integration or smaller problem solving, which gets bigger as the product grows. So let's take on it. So let me start this video. Let's just small the webcam, and sometimes I build like it's a AI product, or sometimes it's an internal tool, or sometimes it's client product that I can't publicly show because of confidentiality. But one thing I have realized over the past few years is that sometimes of the most valuable or the most valuable engineering lessons now comes from building a flashy new feature. So that's exactly what happened to me this week. Like most developer, whenever I heard about the word scalability, actually, so I immediately thought that would be about backend. But can the server like handle more requests? Is the database optimized? Do we need caching, load balancing, etc.? First, let me start the terminal and show you what I'm talking about. So here's the last one. Yeah, the server is running localhost 4173. Okay, first put this as the yeah. So this is the asset I'm talking about. So I was saying is, as a developer, we were actually like thinking that load balancing is working or not, a better infrastructure is there or not. But this week I realized something interesting. The backend was completely fine. It returned the data quickly. The API wasn't the bottleneck. The real scalability problem was the front end. More specifically, the way the interface present the information. Like here is the asset I have built with the help of Codex actually for explaining purpose of this video. So the way interface present the information, I obviously can't show actual client project because it's confidential. So let's recreate the same idea in this demo and let me show you what I mean. So this is the screen you can see, and this is fictional admin panel called North Star Admin, and everything you are looking at is built only for this video, but the problem is exactly the same as the one I solved this week. So imagine this is the admin panel. You are building a software for a growing company. So today they might have 10 clients, a few months later, maybe 100, eventually 1,000. Most products work perfectly in the beginning, but they are designed around today's scale. And the problem is business don't stay the same size. The product grows, the multiple clients work on the same product, like multiple clients were there for your particular problem, right? So the business don't stay the same size, and the data grows, the team grows, and your interface has to grow with them. So basically, like here, the currently it's on 120. Like if it's 12, then you can see the interaction cost is green. The domain node, sorry, DOM node standard were actually low, and the item per interaction is low. Findability is okay. The keyboard friendly. It's keyboard friendly, so not it's not keyboard friendly because the application is not meant for the accessibility one. So let's start with the 12 client. So I'll open this drop down. You can see, and here you can see that the client is showing perfectly, and we can see every client. Let's forget about the breaking of the UI because it's built with a single prompt. I really need to think like everything feels simple. And honestly, if I only tested it with 12 client, I probably should this interface without thinking twice because it's working fine. Like you can see the directory, it's paginated and all. And it's exactly where the many engineering decisions become dangerous because we are testing with today's data, not tomorrow, right? I'm talking about the scaling part when the business grows, when the problem grows, right? And the data set and team grows. So like if we move to the 120 client, you can see now let's increase it to 120, and technically Nothing is broken. The backend is still fast, the API still returns everything, right? And but what happens? I open the drop down and suddenly I am scrolling. Like here you can see scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. I'm visually scanning actually. I am spending more time finding one client. The browser now has more work. More importantly, I have more work. And what that metrics really measure, what a benchmark APIs, what benchmark database queries, but almost never benchmark how difficult an interface becomes for a real person to us, right? So that's the issue. And wait. Yeah. So let just talk about it. So if we goes to 12,000, sorry, 1,200 clients, so then you can see when we open the DOM. Now let's go to 12,000. Yeah. So notice something? Nothing crashed. There are no console errors. And the backend still did exactly what I supposed to do. But you actually enjoy using this every day? Probably not. Imagine working in a customer support or operation or a sales of a particular company, and every single action starts here. Finding one client, now mean scrolling, right? So hundreds of options. Even if rendering only takes a fraction of second, the client cost is the human being using the actually the real cost is human being using the software which has this scroll bar. So we must throw some scaling improvement like giving a search bar here at the top of this, we can say. Or we can like here we give the search client like here the client directly have on this, right? So I'll add the diagonist panel. You can see here. Yeah. So we are looking at the things like DOM nodes, rendering work, interaction cost, keyboard accessibility, foundability. These aren't just technical metrics. So they describe how difficult the interface becomes as the product grows. Scalable front end isn't only about the rendering quickly, it's about helping people completely takes efficiently, right? So let's talk about the beta pattern. So we can see the search plus page. Yeah. So as you now can see, we have this search bar here appear. Like we can search like Vertex Lab, Vertex Lab. So you can find. Oh, sorry. Actually, I accidentally closed the browser. Let's see this search plus Chrome option for 1,200 client. So now you can search the name, the domain, or the IDs. And instead of rendering every client, let's change the interaction model. I'll switch to the like notice when what's different. I am only rendering a handful of record. And if I know the client name, I search. And if I know the domain, I search. If I know the client ID, I search. I don't need to manually spend 1,200 records anymore. And that's the important shift. A good UX isn't about showing everything. It's about actually helping them find the right thing with the least amount of effort. The same idea applies to the table. Just because of the database has 1,200 records, it doesn't mean the browser should render 1,200 rows. Search, filters, pagination, sensible defaults, they aren't just UI component actually, they are scalability strategies. And every time we reduce actually the unnecessary work for the browser, we also reducing the unnecessary work for the person who using this product actually, who using this particular application or the product. So the bigger lesson is the interesting part is this video isn't actually about a drop down next week. It might be the notification, the permission, the activity feeds, dashboards, reports, the component changes, but the engineering principle stays the same. Every solution has a scale where it eventually stops being the right solution. The great engineers don't only solve the today's problem, they think about the next 100 users and they think next 100 records, the next stage of the particular product or the business. And here's the AI section. Let me show you which has created the AI section or not. I don't think with the AI section. Oh, it didn't create it. So let me show you the codex. I have used for this particular project. So I used AI tools like Codex during implementation. They made writing code faster. They made interaction or iteration faster with the particular project. And but the AI didn't tell me that this interface needs change. AI can generate code. I can't understand your user for you. But that's still our responsibility as an engineer. And honestly, I think that's where the experienced developer create the most value. So if there is one idea, I hope you takeaway from this video is that don't design your products for the amount of data you have today. Think of it as a future integration or future enhancement for the particular project when the product grows or the application grows because your backend can be perfectly optimized. Your APIs can respond in milliseconds. Your database can scale beautifully. Right. And the user can still have a frustrating experience if the interface wasn't designed to grow with a particular product. This is the kind of engineering I want to document on this channel and real lessons from building real software. Not just tutorials, not just tools, reviews, but the decision trade-offs and principle that makes the product better as it goes. And if actually that sound interesting, I would love to hear you along for the journey and let me know in the comments what one engineering lesson you have learned. This that's what really about the code, and I see you in the next one. So thank you.